What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your $1,400 third stimulus check update and third stimulus package update, as well as related news. The $1,400 third stimulus check, which also includes $1,400 for adults, $1,400 for children, $1,400 for adult dependents, and college student dependents this time around. Although those checks, any checks for dependents, whether they're adult dependents or not, will go to the person who claims them as a dependent. Same thing with children. $1,400 stimulus checks for children, although they go to the person who claims them as a dependent. There's also in this stimulus check package bill $3,000 to $3,600 child income tax credit checks that are going to be paid out in monthly increments of $250 per month for children over the age of 6 through 17, and $300 per month, or $3,600, for children under the age of 6. That is likely to start in July, as the IRS is going to need time to set up the brand new system to pay this in monthly increments. It's also a possibility because these stimulus checks for this is in addition to the $1,400 for children, by the way. This income tax credit of $3,000 to $3,600 per child will start in July, likely. That the first 6 months of the year, basically January through June, first half of this year, could be paid in a one lump sum of $1,500 to $1,800 per child, and then commence with monthly stimulus checks of $250 to $300 per child. No limit on that. So yeah, this is definitely the biggest stimulus package yet. There's also $30 billion for mortgage assistance, rental assistance, property tax assistance, and utility assistance. There's also $350 billion for states and cities, which normally you'd go, oh, states and cities. Nobody cares about that. But there's actually a new provision that the states and cities have to spend more money this time around on you guys, the actual people of the states and cities. We've just seen California pass a $600 stimulus check for low-income Californians. Maryland passed stimulus checks of $300 to $500 for Maryland people, different qualifications per state. We're going to see even more of those coming out in the future as they have to spend more money of the $350 billion on you guys. So we're going to see more of these state and local county stimulus checks. We're going to see more of these mortgage and rental assistance and utility assistance and property tax assistance programs on the state and local level, as well as when there's also a health insurance premium in here in this bill that if you lose your job from the virus, just in general, if you lose your job, the government will actually pay your COBRA health insurance completely in full. They will literally pay the entire health insurance for you. There's also $7,000 of funeral expenses from the second stimulus check package that we're waiting to get. If you had a family member pass away from the pandemic, my condolences to you. But the government will actually reimburse you up to $7,000 of funeral expenses. I'll keep you up to date on that. As well as once this package passes finally and the president signs it into law, got brand new details for you guys on what's coming today here in just a moment. But after this package settles, then they'll continue to work on the next packages. They've already announced the next stimulus package, the Build Back Better package, which will largely be infrastructure, but it's also going to have multiple different stimulus items in there, of which yet to be determined. As well as possible, we're going to see a lot of standalone bills and new momentum, possible executive orders for all sorts of things. The $10,000 of student loan forgiveness, I fully do expect that to actually pass sometime this year. There's so much support for that if you have student loans, it's a very good chance you're going to get at least $10,000 of student loan forgiveness. The possible Social Security increase of $200 per month. This is in addition to the stimulus checks that are passed in the House, or I'm sorry, passed in the Senate and is now at the House. It was passed in the House last week, but the Senate amended the bill. So now it's going back to the House to be voted on. We'll get more details there in a second. But after they pass this package, we're going to likely see a lot of things coming up. The student loan forgiveness, the Social Security increases, the $15,000 home buyer credit that President Biden wants, the mortgage assistance, rental assistance, property tax assistance, utility assistance, and the next stimulus package, the Build Back Better package, which there's already over a dozen senators alone pushing for monthly reoccurring stimulus checks in that bill. So I will keep you up to date on all of that. In addition to that, the Republican Party is basically fighting amongst themselves in what is actually starting to become a big deal and is now starting to hit the national spotlight as former President Donald Trump literally late last night vowed, quote, no more money for rhinos, as in the Republicans, and is instead encouraging Republicans to donate to his fund and not donate to Republicans, the Republican National Convention Committee anymore. As you can see here, former President Trump encouraged donors to give money to his Save America PAC instead of to Republicans. He's dubbed rhinos in another departure from the traditional Republican campaign operations. He says, no more money for rhinos. They do nothing but hurt the Republican Party and our great voting base. They will never lead us to greatness. Trump said in a statement late last night. Send your donation to Save America PAC at donaldjtrump.com. We will bring it all back stronger than ever before. This comes as former President Donald Trump sent a cease and desist letter to the Republican Party to stop using his name, likeness, and everything associated with him, as he further separates himself from the Republican Party for multiple different reasons. Number one, he pretty much hates Mitch McConnell, Senate Minority Leader at this point, after Mitch McConnell voted no to not impeach him. He voted to not impeach him, but then he said basically that it was his fault, even though he voted no. And then we had 17 different Republicans in the House and the Senate vote to impeach him. And well, former President Donald Trump is pretty pissed at that. However, last night, the Republican National Committee responded back to President Donald Trump and said they don't care about the cease and desist letter from President Donald Trump and basically have rejected it on which could literally lead to multiple different lawsuits going forward. We know that former President Donald Trump is not afraid to file a lawsuit, and basically the Republican Party is just not doing well amongst themselves right now. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, and also big Trump supporter, says that former President Donald Trump could make the Republican Party bigger and stronger, or he could completely destroy it.
Donald Trump was my friend before the riot, and I'm trying to keep a relationship with him after the riot. I still consider him a friend. What happened was a dark day in American history, and we're going to move forward. So here's what you need to know about me. I want this to continue. I want us to continue the policies that I think will make America strong. I believe the best way for the Republican Party to do that is with Trump, not without Trump.
Not only does he show no remorse, I mean, he's still telling everyone he won in a landslide.
Yeah, and I tell him every day that he wants to listen, that I think the main reason he probably lost in Arizona is beating on the dead guy called John McCain.
Do you think you could have won re-election without being an ardent supporter of President Trump?
Here's the thing. My election's over.
Yeah.
I could throw him over tomorrow.
Right.
Why aren't I?
Yeah. That's what I really don't understand.
Okay, well, then you don't understand me very much.
I don't. That's why I'm asking
That's
you.
right. So that I could say, that's it, it's over, it's done. That's just too easy. What's hard is to take a movement that I think is good for the country, try to get the leader of the movement who has got lots of problems facing him and the party, and see if we can make a go of it. Mitt Romney didn't do it. John McCain didn't do it. There's something about Trump. There's a dark side and there's some magic there. What I'm trying to do is just harness the magic. To me, Donald Trump is sort of a cross between Jesse Helms, Ronald Reagan, and P.T. Barnum. I mean, it's just this bigger than life deal. He could make the Republican Party something that nobody else I know could make it. It could make it bigger. He could make it stronger. He could make it more diverse. And he also could destroy it.
A Mississippi pastor came out and said that the $1,400 stimulus check should actually be credited to former President Donald Trump, because if we go back, we remember that he actually wasn't going to sign the second stimulus check package at one point because he said the $600 stimulus checks were too small and that they should be increased to $2,000. Then the U.S. House of Representatives passed the Cash Act, which was a standalone bill for $1,400 stimulus checks, largely led by Democrats because some Republicans voted for it, but only about 20% of Republicans, if I recall correctly, voted for that. Then it went to the Senate, and, well, good old Mitch McConnell sent it to his graveyard and literally never voted on the bill. So we didn't get the $1,400 stimulus checks at that point, and if we had, that would have been in early January, we would probably already be working on this package, would probably be our fourth stimulus check instead of our third stimulus check. And honestly, Mitch McConnell's probably to blame for that. There was probably enough votes to pass that in the Senate. We had Republican Senator Josh Hawley campaigning for that with Bernie Sanders. We had bipartisan support. We could have got the 60 votes. 50 Democrats would have voted yes for sure. 10 Republicans with Josh Hawley, Mitt Romney. There was probably enough Republicans in the Senate to vote yes on it. We only needed 10 out of the 50, and we would have got the $1,400 back in January. And then now President Biden comes in, and he's going to want to pass stimulus. He's already said that this package will not be the only stimulus package. There's more to come. So basically, we kind of got gypped out of an extra $1,400 stimulus check, and really it's $1,400 this time because they're trying to complete it at 2,000. 1,400 is kind of an odd number, although 1,200 and 600 were kind of odd numbers too. It's not like they were an even thousand, but really that $1,400 did kind of come from former President Donald Trump because he wanted to increase those checks to $2,000 back in December. But Mitch McConnell kind of blew it for the whole country, and now, well, the Republican Party is literally fighting amongst themselves. And as we know, the Republican Party lost the Senate because of that, and they lost the presidency. So now the Democrats are in control, are gonna likely pass multiple stimulus packages and checks before the year is over. The U.S. House of Representatives is set to vote on the third stimulus package and third stimulus check today. Now, remember, this bill had previously passed the House of Representatives last week, but when it went to the Senate made multiple changes to it, and thus they have to vote on it again. The House and the Senate have to pass the exact same bill, okay? And the Senate made multiple changes to the bill. They took out the $15 an hour minimum wage completely because, well, there just wasn't enough support to vote it, to pass it. It was voted on as an amendment and only voted 42 yeses to 58 no's. All 50 Republicans voted no. 8 Democrats also voted no. So really $15 an hour, in my opinion, is dead on arrival even going forward. They just don't have the votes to pass $15 an hour. I think they do have the votes to pass $10 or $11 an hour, and will likely see a standalone bill after this bill to pass that. But they also reduced the income check, the stimulus check income qualifications, so that only people making up to $80,000 would get a check this time around. Where in the past, for former President Donald Trump's 2 stimulus checks, it was up to $100,000. So now up to 15 million people are likely not going to get checks because of that income requirement. There's a lot of Democrats that are unhappy about that too, as well as the change to unemployment that President Biden wanted $400 per week for unemployment benefit bonuses, and it was reduced to $300 per week. Likely Joe Manchin, Democratic senator from West Virginia, is completely to blame or to fault or whatever you want to say for the income change from $100,000 to $80,000 for the stimulus checks and the unemployment change. Although the unemployment change has a nice sweet kicker to it that there's $10,200 of unemployment money that will not be taxable retroactively back to 2020. Now here's the thing is that there's a lot of kind of rumors and talk swirling around on how the IRS is going to handle this because a lot of people have already filed their 2020 taxes, and this is for 2020. Okay, so there's talk that you may have to file an amendment. Don't do that, an amended tax return. Don't do that yet. This bill is not even signed into law until the House has to pass it and the president has to sign it. Don't file an amended tax return yet. I'll keep you updated. There's also talk among the IRS and kind of floating around that the IRS may be able to do this automatically. They may be able to literally just go into their computer system and figure out who got unemployment for 2020 and already filed a tax return, and they might be able to just automatically give you an additional refund, because this will likely, if you had $10,000 of unemployment money, you could get an extra $1,000 or $2,000 back because you don't have to pay taxes on that money. We also may have to fill out a form or something along those lines. Basically, we don't know, but don't file an amended tax returns just yet. I will keep you updated on this situation as it develops. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of House, they're called progressives, and there's another group called the Squad, which AOC is in there, and Representative Jayapal, who are they're very kind of left leaning. They're progressive. They just, that's kind of the names they have. A lot of them are not happy over several of the changes done by the Senate. The minimum wage was taken out, although they really didn't have a choice on taking that out. They kind of had to take that out. A lot of them are unhappy about the income changes for the stimulus checks, that less people, 15 million less people, are going to get the stimulus checks, and that the weekly unemployment bonus is less too. So here's the thing, is that they have to pass this bill in the House, and it has to have no amendment changes. If they make even a single amendment change to it, then it has to go back to the Senate to be voted on again in the Senate. Now, I don't think they want to do that, okay? Because I just don't think they're going to. However, there's a lot of progressive Democrats that are kind of upset over this and may vote no, or may force amendment changes. And if we don't get the amendment changes, then they vote no. Now, the problem with that, as you can see here on the screen, there's 221 Democrats. Last time, every single one of the Republicans, all 211 of them, voted no. Literally, not a single Republican voted yes on the third stimulus check package when it passed the House last week before it was amended. We had 2 Democrats vote no last time, okay? They can only have 4 Democrats vote no. If you delete 5 from here, that would be 216, and there'd be 216 Republicans. So literally, if 5 Democrats out of 221 vote no, they will not be able to pass this package, and will then have to basically amend it again to make it passable. That's exactly what happened in the Senate. The Senate had to basically amend the bill enough times, remove the minimum wage, change the income requirements, get Joe Manchin on board. Heaven forbid Joe Manchin's not on board. Basically, they had to amend the bill enough times to get the 50 votes. And that's exactly what happened. They passed it by the slimmest of slim margins, 50 to 49. Okay. And the only reason it's 49 is one Republican senator from Alaska didn't show up to vote. He went to a funeral. He would have voted no. It would have been 50 to 50. And then, well, Vice President Kamala Harris would have stepped in for the 51st vote and passed it with the reconciliation card. Okay, so it passed 50 to 49 with the simple majority because there wasn't that vote. It would have passed either way. But they had to amend the bill multiple times to even get it to pass. So, and one could say that a lot of this is because there's not a single Republican voting for it. In the past year, we had 5 different stimulus packages passed, 2 which had checks. Other ones were minor, and they had vaccine distribution and money for small businesses and money for schools. So there was 5 packages passed last year. This will be the 6th package of the pandemic pass. All 5 of them last year had Republican support when President Donald Trump was there. Now all of a sudden they don't want to. There's not a single Republican that voted yes in the House or the Senate. So I don't know if they're just kind of blackballing the Democrats at this point because they're upset that they lost the House, the Senate, and the presidency. Hopefully that changes in the future. But Democrats said, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said that he hopes that Republicans see what's going to happen, because they're just going to keep passing things through the reconciliation process for as many times as they're allowed if Republicans don't come on board. So we've literally seen Chuck Schumer, who's the Senate Majority Leader now, no longer Mitch McConnell, say, Republicans better come on board, negotiate with us, be reasonable, or we're just going to keep passing packages without you and passing bills without you. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But the House is expected to vote on this today. I will keep you updated as hopefully it passes today. It could literally go to President Biden's desk the same day, depending on what time they pass it, or the next day and be signed into law. Then the checks will start to go out via direct deposit within a few days after that, and probably about a week after that for checks. Although, as you know, or as you may know, the direct deposits and the checks, especially if you know this from the last 2 checks, they go out in waves. So sometimes you get them quick and sometimes you have to wait. Sometimes, it takes a long time for you. And I'll let you know about any delays or anything like that as they come up, as well as the next stimulus package called the Build Back Better package, the upcoming $200 per month Social Security increase proposal that President Biden wants. President Biden also wants $10,000 of student loan forgiveness, a $15,000 home buyer credit, and the next stimulus package. So there's a lot more on the horizon. Trust me, if President Trump passed 5 stimulus packages, you know that Biden's not going to want only one under his belt. So it's just kind of the reality of things. I'll keep you up to date on all of these. Make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new videos. Click the bell icon next after you subscribe to all notifications so you don't miss out on new videos. New videos come out every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., 8 p.m., and 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're not going to want to miss any videos today because it could be literally breaking news of this bill passing today. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have dozens of students that have replaced their 9-to-5 income selling products on Amazon, and I teach them how to do that. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.